Hello and welcome to the Greenbackers 26 for COP26 programme launch event. I will now hand over to your host, Mark Hannigan.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark Hannigan of Greenbackers Investment Capital. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this launch event for our 26 for COP26 programme. The purpose of today's session is to fire the starting gun on a programme that will last the next 6 months running up to the COP itself in November. The session is due to last about an hour, so I want to take a few minutes to run through the agenda with you so you know what to expect over the next 60 minutes. First, you're going to hear from my Greenbackers colleagues, Andrew Smith, John Steedman, and Robert Holkin, who are going to tell you a little bit about who Greenbackers are, why we're doing something special for the COP, and the specifics of our COP26 programme. Thereafter, we're going to hear from our keynote speaker, Mr. Bertrand Piccard, CEO of Solar Impulse Foundation. And for those of you who don't know Bertrand, he's the guy who flew the solar plane around the world. Pretty special guy. After that, we're going to hear from some of our sponsors and partners. Firstly, Sarah Petrie from Michelin Scotland Innovation Park, then Alex Holt from the Scottish Government and CivTech, and thirdly, William Baldiga, CEO of global law firm Brown Rudnick. In between those sessions, the Greenbackers team are going to pop in and out, reminding you how you can get involved in the programme, whether you are an investor, a venture, or an ecosystem member. But before we take a dive into the agenda, let's just take a few moments to reflect on the big picture and the context for where we find ourselves right now. Climate change continues to stimulate extreme weather events which highlight the vulnerability of our current energy system. This is leading to public awareness being at an all-time high of the need for a robust energy system and to do something about climate change. The pandemic has also brought into sharp focus some of the aspects of how we live our lives right now. All of this heightened awareness has put extreme pressure on politicians to enact policies that reflect the concerns of their citizens. And this has led to an ambitious set of goals being set for a net zero society by 2050. On the face of it, a moonshot goal like this is great news. However, like the moon landing, much of the technology we need to make net zero by 2050 a reality simply doesn't exist yet. So like the NASA guys, we're going to have to innovate like our lives depended on it. However, innovation requires capital. The good news is that the capital markets, responding to ESG pressure from owners of capital and clients of financial services companies, are now getting on board with clean tech investment. So people like Mr. Fink here and the rest of Wall Street are now on board and see the value and the investor returns that can be achieved from clean tech investment. So you're thinking, great, we have the imperative, we have the capital, we have ventures ready to innovate. We're all sorted, right? Wrong. Unfortunately, innovation is still very risky, and many unicorns fail multiple times before they are successful. This means that we need growth capital being injected into the clean tech pyramid at the bottom, where the early stage innovation happens. Only then can we create a critical mass of clean tech innovation, which will produce the unicorns, which will make net zero a reality for us. Here at Greenbackers, we live at the bottom of the pyramid, and that's why we're all here today. So you guys can find out how you can help us stimulate that innovation. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, John Steedman, who's going to explain a little bit more about what we do here at Greenbackers. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm John Steedman, one of the partners in Greenbackers. I'd like to take just a few minutes to say what we do, how and why. We're a team that's been involved in the clean tech scene from almost the beginning, which gives us some insight as to what determines if a technology will achieve investment, adoption, and deliver on its growth. Essentially, we build bridges between entrepreneurs and a wide network of investors and partners to mobilize capital and support. We're based mainly in the UK and North America, although we do have global reach and take a very collaborative approach. We typically come in at seed or Series A when a specific opportunity has been validated. It's starting to gain traction in the market and ready to scale and grow. Through Greenbackers, we see some of the latest and best solutions, reducing carbon, reducing waste, and ensuring natural resources are used in a sustainable way. Technology startups often struggle to access private capital to commercialize their products and services. Greenbackers not only helps them navigate this path to funding, we're building momentum and awareness of the sector within a broader community of support. We have to find and fund the businesses that are going to slow climate change. That means technology that's viable, scalable, and economic. It won't and can't happen overnight. However, day by day, you can see the transition to renewables and sustainability. Corporate doors that were once closed are now open as they're under pressure to reinvent themselves and become part of the environmental revolution, just like the industrial revolution of the past. We provide funding as a service to clean tech ventures and investors. And we do that in 3 ways. We have a pitch, we have an online platform, and we work one-to-one with ventures. You'll hear more about that from the other partners later in the webcast. Well, what makes us different? Well, I did say we were collaborative. What we mean by that is we work closely with companies and review their strategy, positioning, roadmap, and gaps before they even reach the audience. So what sort of deals are we seeing? First thing to say is we've seen a tremendous amount of deal flow since our last pitch in November. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that have taken up the climate challenge. And it's our job in Greenbackers to curate this deal flow, provide the platform for innovative technology that's both investment and market ready. Typically, they're looking to raise 1 to 5 million and build partnerships that add value. There are a number of sectors where we see a trend: advanced mobility in all its forms, electric vehicles, charging infrastructure, batteries, cargo bikes, last mile delivery. The second area where we see an increasing number of innovative solutions is in response to the challenges of increasing population and pollution. It's obviously recycling, reuse or reduction of waste, and also the introduction of agtech and air quality monitoring. Of course, energy storage, energy efficiency remains one of the strongest sectors, plus the drive to significantly reduce the footprint of industry and their supply chains. We already know some of the technologies that are being developed through incubators and accelerators, and it's heading our way, making their invaluable contribution to net zero. And we can expect cross-cutting technologies to emerge in new areas reflecting the common goal. Do we think Greenbackers can make a difference? Well, we do. A recent Times supplement declared climate change is now, and what are we doing about it? Well, that's the point. This is a climate pandemic. Greenhouse gases don't respect borders. Not only is Greenbackers scouting for technology solutions, we help them reach their full potential, become known in a global context beyond their country of origin. Thank you, and I'll hand over to Andrew, who's going to introduce Greenbackers program for COP26.
Thank you, John, and hello and welcome to Glasgow. I am Andrew Smith, a partner in Greenbackers, and truly delighted to have your company today as we lay out our exciting program for COP26. But what is the COP? Well, officially, Glasgow hosts the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of the Parties, COP26, on 1st to 12th November. The COP26 summit will bring the world together to accelerate action towards the goals of the Paris Agreement and the UN framework on climate change. But for us, for Greenbackers, it is something very different. For Greenbackers, it is a powerful lens, bringing the focus of thousands of investors of all types who are inspired by the climate emergency, who are driven by their LPs, who are striving to meet internal business targets, and who need investable, innovative technology businesses to help them deliver on these drivers. It is that same lens which will benefit those entrepreneurs looking to move the dial on climate change with their world-beating technology by providing a platform for them to shout about their solution to an engaged world audience. And it is the same lens which our 26 for COP26 program partners can use to declare to this worldwide audience that they are fully engaged with the climate emergency, and to demonstrate their support for a program that will deliver real, hard outcomes. Next slide, please. We look to the Paris Agreement, which set a global framework to avoid dangerous climate change by limiting global warming to well below 2 degrees and pursuing efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees. In Paris, the COP set out ways to strengthen countries' ability to deal with the impacts of climate change and support them in their efforts. So in essence, the COP in Paris was about strengthening the global response to the threat of climate change. Since Paris, the narrative has been driven by politics in the USA and by growing concern at the increasing regularity of once in 100-year climate events that instead seem to be becoming the norm. Climate change has become climate emergency. Only 2 days ago, the International Energy Authority, in its flagship report, Net Zero by 2050, a roadmap, if you will, for the global energy sector, said the following: come 2050, almost half the reduction in CO2 emissions will come from technologies that are currently at the demonstration or prototype phase. They went on to say, major innovation efforts must take place this decade, now, in order to bring these new technologies to market in time. The COP in Glasgow, in Greenbackers' view, needs to be about action. Glasgow is situated on the River Clyde, some 14 miles from the sea. The name Glasgow means dear green place. Glasgow is a city with a proud industrial background in shipbuilding, exporting steam engines around the world. It is a city of industrial and financial innovation with its economic intervention agencies, Scottish Enterprise and Highlands and Islands Enterprise, delivering much copied co-investment programs for early stage businesses. I and my Greenbackers colleagues are proud that our hometown is hosting this crucial event. And we have worked hard to develop a program based upon our beliefs that will deliver real and positive outcomes in this time of climate crisis. Today, we are issuing our call to action to you through our program, 26 for COP26. We will let you know how you can answer that call later, and indeed, some how-to links to relevant information will be in the chat box in this webcast. But now, Greenbackers founder and managing partner and my colleague, Robert Hocken, will outline the Greenbackers 26 for COP26 program for you. Robert, over to you.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Mark, John, and hello, everyone from Glasgow. Super excited to be kicking off our SuperPitch program. Thank you for joining us. And I'd just like to say, if we're going to, as Mark said, innovate like our lives depend on it, we have to catalyze next level investment into this sector faster. And our SuperPitch program is designed to do just that. It's not a traditional pitch. In fact, it's an upgrade to the format. We've attended countless pitches ourselves, and mostly we see a kind of pitch and pray scenario. Companies pitch, and then they pray that an investor attends, notices, and engages with them. It's much too hit or miss, and we've come to the conclusion that, in the main, this format's outmoded. So our program is designed to be different. The companies that we select will benefit from 6 months, not just 1 day of funding support. That is active, dynamic introductions to our global audience of investors. And given it's COP26, we thought we'd showcase 26 companies. We see this as an opportunity to show the COP delegates not only how essential innovation is to the climate emergency, but how essential the financing of it is and how we can all make it happen at speed. This is the polar opposite of greenwash. This is about action, engagement, and results. Here's how it works. Having pushed out an open call for innovators, as you can see, we're still getting a lot of quality applications. So much, in fact, that we've decided to extend the application window to next Friday, the 28th of May. Next Friday, the 28th of May. We're then reviewing all of the applicants to select the final 26. We're looking not only at the technology and its impact, but ultimately how fundable the business is as well. Mark will speak more about entry criteria for the tech ventures a little later in the program. Each elected company gets an investment profile in the Greenbackers Showcase, the 24/7 deal platform that we created last year during the pandemic. Next slide, please. The showcase exists to support and feature founders seeking seed and Series A through C funding, and then matches them with professional investors in our community, many who have helped us develop, fine-tune, and trial the platform's functionality. We're now at the stage where we have around 100 funds on the platform, and we're now ready to open it up to the global investment community. So funders, please take note. Once selected, the 26 ventures get profile coaching from us prior to going live and becoming visible to the funds. I'll explain how all of you funds and professional investors on the call can access this deal flow shortly. But first, it's a huge privilege to welcome Bertrand Piccard of Solar Impulse Foundation, who, as Mark said, made the first round-the-world electric flight in a solar-powered airplane. He's going to make our keynote address. It sounds like science fiction to think about it, and hard to believe that he did this 5 years ago in 2016. Bertrand is living proof of climate innovation and action, and we're delighted to be partnering with Solar Impulse and that he's been able to join us today. Bertrand, over to you.
Hello to everyone. I'm Bertrand Piccard. At the Solar Impulse Foundation, we share a conviction with Greenbackers. The protection of the environment can be very profitable. It can be a fantastic business opportunity. And at the same time, solve the climate challenges, solve the problems of pollutions. So in the last 4 years, we have identified now more than 1,000 technological solutions that can protect the environment in a financially profitable way. We have given the label that certifies their profitability. But of course, these solutions have to make their way to the market. They have to be used. And there are basically two gaps. One is the regulation, the commitment from the governments, which is exactly what has to be achieved at the COP26 in Glasgow. There is the other gap, which is the funding. how are these companies who have been labeled as profitable can be known enough? How can they find customers? How can they make their way to the market and to the investment? And this is exactly what Greenbackers is helping to do. So having 26 innovators receiving the investments they need for the COP26 in Glasgow is a fantastic initiative. We fully support it at the Solar Impulse Foundation, and we can even provide some candidates for the investments in the big pool of 1,000 solutions that we have identified. So a lot of perspectives, a lot of collaboration, a lot of passion. I just love it. So see you at COP26.
Hi, back again. God, what a dude. I'm back again to explain how funders can access the deals on our showcase. It's very straightforward. Next slide, please. Those of you who have identified yourself as investors when you registered for today's event, and we can evidence that you're attached to a fund, you'll get an email inviting you to the platform to see the 26 ventures that we have selected. So watch out for it. If you don't get an email by June the 5th at the latest, get in touch and we'll add you. There's no cost or obligation to participate or invest, and you can have as many of your team register as you wish. Next slide, please. Once on the platform, you can quickly scan or keyword search the ventures based on your own investment criteria. So as you can see, you'll see a pitch deck, you'll see a video, a deal summary, plus detailed information, including a pitch book profile, if available, on each venture. It's like a mini data room, although it's not meant to replace a venture's actual data room. There's a lot of information in there. If you want to meet with the ventures, you can engage directly with them or ask us here at Greenbackers to set up a call or set up a meeting. We're happy to do the work. We'll be holding roundtables during the months ahead, which will allow you to meet dynamically with the investors, with the ventures, and also with fellow investors to potentially syndicate deals if that's something that you desire. If you're on the platform, you automatically get an invite, so make sure you register. Any questions, feel free to contact me or any of the team. You'll have our details shortly. Now, one of the greatest pleasures I get out of working in this sector is the opportunity to work with other exceptional programs and people. One of these, and the first to partner up with our COP26 program, is MSIP, Michelin Scotland Innovation Park, here in Scotland in Dundee. They have a fantastic program, and they'll be providing financial support for 2 of the ventures that we'll be announcing soon. So I'd like to give the mic over to Sarah Petrie to tell us more about their program. Sarah, hi, and thanks for your support.
Hi, Robert. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming along today. This is a new experience for me doing something like this on this kind of platform, so bear with me. Please do feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and we'll try and get back to you at the end. So I'm Sarah Petrie, and I'm the Innovation Director at Michelin Scotland Innovation Park. And we're setting up MSIP as a global reference site for collaboration across innovation, manufacturing and skills. And we're specifically focusing on sustainable mobility and decarbonisation. And I was quite heartened to see the previous slide, which demonstrated the uptick in interest from companies in that mobility space. And I can certainly attest to that from the interest we're receiving at MSIP. So here we understand that to be successful, businesses need access to a number of things, including a home for the business, which we can provide here at MSIP, and things that other people have talked about, including innovation in product development and manufacturing, as well as a robust business plan and financing. All of these things are required to help the businesses to grow. And we understand that businesses also have an aspiration to grow in an equitable way. So at MSIP, we can help address some of those things that companies need by providing excellent infrastructure. So we have a 32-hectare site offering flexible spaces of varying sizes. Sustainable energy with both green and sustainable energy options, ensuring that technologies that are developed at MSIP are done so with respect to the environment. Our innovation campus incorporates our innovation hub, innovation labs, light manufacturing units, and a welcoming environment to support the testing and development of technologies for the future of sustainable mobility. And we're going to deliver a programme of innovation and business support that links public sector and industry and identifying opportunities to support your business to grow. Our Unique Skills Academy will bring industry and academia together on the park to ensure that the skills needs of the future of mobility are met. Everything that MSIP offers addresses the needs of businesses to enable their success. And underpinning all of our activities at MSIP is that unique collaborative approach to achieving net zero goals. Not necessarily unique, as Robert's already talked about that collaboration, and it needs others to participate in that. So we're partnering with Greenbackers Investment Capital because we want to support innovative and ambitious companies across sustainable mobility and decarbonisation to grow and to succeed, to deliver new innovations and to help us achieve net zero. Many of our tenants and our wider MSIP family of companies are at an early stage. They need access to investment to grow their businesses, to take their products to market and to scale up their manufacture. They need access to investors who understand their sector and can support those growth ambitions. So by partnering with Greenbackers Investment Capitals, two companies that we select to participate in this 6-month investment programme will get that unique opportunity to secure finance from the world's leading investors in climate and clean technology, which we hope will take them one step closer to success. So we want to see our participating companies being successful in their fundraising ambitions, and we hope that all 26 participating companies are fully funded at the COP26 SuperPitch. We hope that these companies, and we believe that these companies, can help to inspire others across the world to deliver innovative technologies and business models that we ensure that we meet our net zero targets. So I think I'm handing back over to Mark. And I would like to wish everybody who's participating in this programme the best of success. And I look forward to seeing you all at COP26. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sarah, for that introduction to MSIP. Truly an excellent initiative, a great example of the just transition, if you will. And we are delighted to be working with you guys on this programme. Thank you for your support. I'd now like to hand over to another partner of ours. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Alex Holt of the Scottish Government, who's going to tell us about a really exciting initiative, the CivTech initiative, which focuses on the aspect of clean tech and technology startup, which is targeting the public sector. You know, public sector has a key role to play in helping us shift to a sustainable society. And Alex and his team are running a really exciting initiative to focus on ventures which serve that public sector market. So over to you, Alex.
Mark, thanks very much, and the rest of the Greenbackers team for this opportunity to speak. And hello, everyone, morning, afternoon, and evening. So my name's Alexander Holt, and I work for the Digital Directorate of the Scottish Government. 5 years ago, I set up a programme called CivTech, which is about driving daring and innovation in the public sector. The success of that led to an international network being created. And last year, we set up something called the CivTech Alliance with like-minded government and academic innovation programs from around the world, from Brazil and America, all across Europe, and indeed Australia. So then it came to the questions, how can you leverage the networks of these organizations in the context of climate tech and the green agenda? Next slide, please. So with that, we came up with a program of a global scale-up, which was essentially there to help scale up programs and scale up companies accelerate their product rollout of net zero and climate change solutions for the public sector around the world. Next slide, please. So as we know that there's the COP coming up, and that's what the context of this, and the Scottish Government is hosting it in Glasgow. And a number of the goals around that are around adaptation, resilience, and mitigation. So how do we help communities adapt to climate change? And indeed, how do we tackle biodiversity loss and climate change? So those adaptation and mitigations are the 2 of the 4 principal goals of COP this year. Next slide, please. So what is the program? The idea is that we will, within our region, select companies attuned with those two themes and open a call over the next few weeks. The timings might shift slightly from the 1st of June, but we are, that's when we're looking to launch roughly. We'll sift these in the regions, take a selection of companies through an exploration phase to do a needs analysis, to understand more about who are the policymakers and procurement agencies we need to put in front of. And then the light blue box is the key component to this. The scale-up safari, where we will take 15 or so companies and rotate them on a 3-4 daily basis around each of the members of the programs. So we have about 12 participating academic and government institutions. And this is an unprecedented opportunity to get in front of policymakers and procurers to understand how their product might fit that particular region. This is done virtually to then all congregate in Glasgow in November for COP. But key to this is the opportunity for field testing at the back end. So the opportunity to see how these products and solutions might work. Next slide, please. Now, this nature of this program appeals to various audiences, for governments in terms of the engagement of the collaborative network, for innovators and entrepreneurs to get a unique opportunity to participate in this program, and of course, investors. And that's where you come into it. We have companies we're sourcing. We'd like to provide them the opportunity for investors. And so it's this network and alignment with Greenbackers, which is of great interest. Next slide, please. So my ask is very simple. 3 things. Share this with your networks in terms of companies that might be interested, and the website will shortly be made available for more information. And then at the other end, if you're interested in investing and we can collaborate with Greenbackers through this, then we'd be interested in finding out more. So if you want more information, please email here, alexander.holt@gov.scot, and I will now hand you back to Mark. So thank you very much for listening.
Thanks, Alex. That was a great presentation. I really do think the CivTech initiative is a very exciting one, and we are really looking forward to working with you guys in the coming months. So I want to turn our attention to the venture CEOs, venture owners who are on the call today. And I just want to spend a few minutes talking about what you need to do to apply for the program. There's still a little bit of time left. As Robert said, we've extended the deadline by another week because we have so much demand. So I'm going to walk you through the application criteria and the steps that you follow on the website in order to participate in the program. But before I do, let's just talk about the acceptance criteria, because we don't want anybody wasting their time if it's an inappropriate program for them. So there are 3 main prerequisites for participating in the program. So the first one is that your venture has to be able to demonstrate a clear link to a sustainability theme. Sustainability comes in lots of shapes and sizes: clean tech, ocean tech, earth tech, recycling, sustainable farming, water conservation, sustainable transportation. So there's clean tech comes in lots of forms, but obviously for Greenbackers to help you, you have to be able to demonstrate the meaningful link with your venture, its technology, and sustainability. The second prerequisite is that your venture has to be at a stage of maturity where it's ready to accept institutional investment. So you don't want to be too early for that. You need to be an advanced enough venture that you're investable, basically. So this typically means you've analyzed your market, you've got a solid business plan, a set of financials, you've got a minimum viable product, you're differentiated, you know, these kinds of things. Hopefully you've also completed a scaled proof of concept type exercise, and you have a little bit of beta testing or market or customer traction So the kind of things that an early stage venture would have already concluded if it had spent time in an accelerator or an incubator. So you have to be ready at a stage of maturity, ready for institutional investment. And the third prerequisite is you need to be able to clearly demonstrate how your venture is going to make money, frankly. You need to be able to show investors how they're going to get a return on that investment. If that's not clear in your pitch materials, then frankly, we're not going to get very far. So hopefully you check those 3 boxes. And if you do, then there's 1 week left, and we would love for you guys to apply for participation in the program. It's a very, very easy application process. So let's just step through those steps as best I can here. It's not difficult, so we'll go 1 step at a time. Just bear with me. So the first step is to go to the Greenbackers website. And as you can see here on the screen, www.greenbackers.com. And on the homepage, you'll see find out more about the SuperPitch. So you click on that button first. That takes you to a page that looks like this. And you click the Apply Now button. Still very straightforward, which takes you to a page that looks like this. The next button says Buy Tickets. So you click on that in order to lodge your application. I think it's a £75 fee, £25 of which goes to charity. And at that point, you also have the option for a formal feedback report on your investability, regardless as to whether you make the cut for the program or not. A lot of ventures do request that feedback session with one of the Greenbackers partners, and usually they get a lot of value out of that feedback. That's optional. So once you click on that next screen, there are 2 parts to the process that need to be followed, as you can see here. The first part is the investment readiness review, which is relatively quick, only takes about 20 minutes, and that will produce a score that will be the basis for your selection to the 26 cohort. In parallel with that, we ask that you complete your Greenbackers Showcase deal room profile, which takes a little bit longer, and I'll explain both in some detail. So firstly, the investment readiness review. It's an online questionnaire. You answer a series of questions about the main aspects of your venture, and that produces an investment readiness scoring, which is also the basis of the feedback session if you take that option. And that helps us with the selection process. If you score very low, then we're happy to work with you in a coaching capacity to improve your investment readiness. If you score very high, then we look forward to getting you into the cohort. Most people score somewhere in the middle. And then the second and final part of the process, as I mentioned earlier, is to complete your online showcase deal room profile, which is what the investors will see once you are selected and you're moved into the Greenbackers Showcase. So this is the way in which we present the investment opportunity to our investors in the showcase. This will act like a mini data room that will cover the main aspects of your business plan, your financials, the profile of your management team, your return on investment, your value proposition. So you can save a lot of time by completing this at the application stage, so that if you're selected, we can plug you straight into the showcase. So hopefully that's straightforward. The link should be appearing in the Q&A box to allow you to click and get going on that application right now. Frankly, there's only a week left, so we would encourage you to, get on with it. Hopefully that's useful for the venture founders that are on the call today. I'm now going to hand over to another one of our program sponsors, Mr. William Baldiga, who's CEO of global law firm Brown Rudnick. Over to you, William.
Hi, my name is Bill Baldiga. I'm the CEO of Brown Rudnick, an international law firm which has an extremely active clean tech and impact investment practice. I want to say a few words about the 26th COP26 Climate Technology SuperPitch program and why we are thrilled to be supporting it. Our partner Greenbackers are the brains behind this exciting program, which is one of the key events being hosted at the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of the Parties, also known as COP26. This conference will be the most important global climate summit since Paris 2015. Over the last year, the health of our families, friends, and communities has become our highest priority, both in our personal and business lives. The impact of the environment on human health is now beyond debate. The COVID pandemic has only accelerated our urgent need to bring clean tech solutions to meet these challenges. The great news is that the clean tech industry is exceptionally well poised to drive great changes in how we generate and consume energy, benefiting both the environment and human health. There are several factors driving this. First, sustainability is a permanent item on every boardroom agenda. Second, there's an abundance and diversity of capital seeking investment opportunities in clean tech and ESG. And third, we are seeing more government and supranational support than ever before, which is resulting in ambitious net zero targets being set and tougher climate legislation. Crucially, investment in clean tech has doubled in the last 5 years. At Brown Rudnick, we recognize that the opportunity really is now, and our sponsorship of this program is part of our firm's wider commitment to help companies and investors accelerate towards a sustainable future. Our lawyers are deal makers and connectors. We work with some of the most exciting entrepreneurs and some of the most passionate investors in the world. We connect them and use our business-focused approach to the law to make deals happen. We also connect investors with each other so they can club together to co-invest in companies, whether it's in the electrification of transport, clean water, renewable energy generation, or energy storage and grid management. We help investors integrate sustainability requirements into their deals because ESG means different things to different investors. We also help companies protect their precious intellectual property. At Brown Rudnick's annual Clean Technology Pitch event in March, we showcased some of the industry's most exciting companies to investors across the UK, France, the US, and Japan, including 8 of the world's largest energy companies, which were on our panel because, according to Bloomberg, traditional oil companies accounted for over $12 billion of investment into the energy transition in 2020 alone. So, if you are an entrepreneur, we encourage you to apply for a place on the Greenbackers SuperPitch program. Thank you, Greenbackers, for inviting us to partner with you. And good luck to all of you. From all of us at Brown Rudnick, please get in touch with our clean tech and impact investing teams if we can support you in any way. Thank you.
Bill, thank you. We are equally thrilled to have Brown Rudnick with your world reach and your deep knowledge supporting our program. And a word of thanks too to your partner and colleague, Neil Foster, chair of Brown Rudnick's technology group. Neil has been instrumental in helping us develop this support, and we are very much looking forward to delivering it together. So, what if you are not an investor, not a venture? How can you get involved with Greenbackers 26 for COP26 program? And why should you? Well, Bill just talked passionately about family and friends and the need for us all to do what we can to make a better place for them. He sees involvement with 26 for COP26 as a way to do that whilst promoting the values and relationships of his business. Do you see the same opportunity for your business? We are looking for event partners to join us as we shape and deliver 26 for COP26. To help us judge the companies presenting and to use connections to help with market entry, mentoring, and introductions to end users and customers. Could that be you? Do you simply want to talk to us to discuss partnering our program with one that you are delivering? Can you share news of the 26 for COP26 program with your own partners, supply chain, incubators, or investor network? Let us know. The 26 ventures will be selected to be investable. Each venture has to find £1,000 per month for the 6-month program. We have set up a scholarship fund for anyone who wants to support a venture through to the COP in November. Could that be you? Why should it be you? Well, what are you doing for COP26? Talking is great, but as we have said today, now it's time for action. Joining with this program is a way to show your business and your customers and your stakeholders that you are doing something real in the fight against climate change. If you want to join this exciting program that will really make a difference on a climate emergency, then get in touch with us through our website or the links in the chat box of this webcast, and we will shape your involvement with us to deliver what you need. Now, to wrap up phase 1, 26, for COP26, the launch, I'm handing you back to my Houston-based colleague and Greenbackers partner, Mr. Mark Hannigan.
Thanks, Andrew. And with that presentation from Andrew, that brings us towards the end of proceedings today. I'd like to take an opportunity to thank all of our sponsors and speakers, and also all of you for dialing in today and your support of this launch event. We have effectively fired the starting gun, and 26 for COP26 is now underway. We'll be spending the next 6 months striving to get the 26 selected ventures invested before the COP conference itself in November. We will be announcing the final 26 in the next couple of weeks, early June, probably first week in June, so please watch this space. Let's work very hard over the next 6 months to make sure that the COP itself is a celebration of what we've achieved between now and then. I just want to recap one last time before we go, the various ways that each of you can get involved in this great program. So firstly, for investors, as we've said before, really straightforward, go to greenbackers.com/deal room, get registered for the deal room and check these investment opportunities. Ventures, it's not too late. There's still a week to go. If you're fast and get your skates on, greenbackers.com/COP26 SuperPitch. Get your applications in quickly. There's very few spaces left. And everyone else, greenbackers.com, contact us. Let's work out how you can put your ESG budget to work and really move the dial. You know, whether it's sponsoring a venture, sponsoring the event, giving some of your time, please play your part. Finally, visit us at the website, follow us on social media, and no program would be complete without its own hashtag. So hashtag 26 for COP26. Use that in all your social media posts to help us promote the event. Thank you everyone for your time today. The hard work starts tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day, and bye from the team here at Greenbackers.